Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. I am sharing in this video my journal page spread for my very first challenge. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the previous video, I'll link it below, it was all about introducing my very first challenge, and it's going to be a monthly challenge for this whole year where each month I'll be giving a journaling prompt, and the prompt for January is a word for the year. And yeah, that video just shares my heart behind journaling, why I just see so much value in journaling, and why I chose word for the year, and how I hope that's going to be helpful to you, but also inspiring and encouraging to others. And if you would like to enter this challenge, you can check that video out and see the giveaway journal and all the details and how to enter there. So I just really want to get into sharing this though, and sharing my word for the year and explaining the story behind that. I'm using my treasure keeping journal. So excited. So I'm going to do all of my journal prompts in this journal. And first of all, I'm just going to share what I did in this cover piece, because I always like to journal about the journal and the details about it and the story behind it first. So I created this little pocket with some fabric, beautiful blue and pink flowers to go with this journal. I think it fits so well. Treasure Keeping, they sent me this piece of fabric in the Happy Mail with the journal, and there was also this quote card on the front of the envelope taped to it, and this is really significant. Nothing can dim the lights which shine from within, and I'll share why that's significant later on. This is me journaling about the journal, and I pulled off the washi tape from the envelope because it's just so beautiful, just to decorate this, and some Christmas one that was also on the envelope to show that this was a Christmas present to myself. And this is the note from the Treasure Keeping sisters, and so I'll just pop you there, and that tucks into there. So I have skipped these pages, and my journal page spread is over here. This was I'll just share about what I've done first in terms of the page spread. This was a white page, just blank white page, so I covered it over with this beautiful image from Daphne's Diary. So in all my journaling, I tend to use images that I've cut out from Daphne's Diary. I just have a big basket of all these cutouts, and then I use them in my journal. So that's all of these pictures. And I love tying this in with the pink and the blue flowers. There's blue butterflies too. So perfect to go in with this theme of the journal, which seems to be much more pink florals. But also want to incorporate as much blue as I can to represent me and my favourite colour. And then my word for the year is light, and I kept this page pretty simple. I am a journaler at heart, so I'm going to do a lot of writing, and I just wanted this to steal the show because this is what I am journaling about. And alright, there's so much to cover in this, and I hope it is encouraging, and I hope it is inspiring and comforting as well. So my word, light, it just kept coming up in so many different things. A phone conversation, another chat with a friend, a book, this card, obviously, that was just so random, a dream even, my goodness. So light is my overall word, and the more specific question to guide me throughout this year is, how can I best bring light where I am, and also how can I maximize the light that is in me? And that second question comes from a story from this book from Tim Costello called Hope. And I love this book. It's one of my favorites. And he tells this story that I want to share with you in case it helps anyone, because it really helped me at the time I read this a few years ago, and also it's come up again for this year. So I'm going to get the story wrong, but here's my retelling. Let's just go with it. There's this father and son. They're walking through this dark tunnel or cave, and they had a light, and they're walking through it and everything's fine, but then they get separated, and the father's light, his light goes dim. The batteries die, whatever. And so the son is scared, and he calls out to his dad, "Dad, where are you?" And his dad says, I'm here. And so the son is like just, you know, paralyzed because he can't see where his dad is, and the dad just says to him, okay, how much light can you see? Because the son has a headlamp on or a little torch or something, and the son says, only enough light to take one step. And so the father says, take that one step, and the son takes that step, and then the father says, all right, now how much light do you have to see? And the son says, again, only enough light for the next step. And the father says, well, take that next step. And this goes on and on and on until the son reaches his father. And this really spoke to me about how we can want a 10-step plan. We can want to see where we'll be in 10 years. We want to know everything and how it will happen and have that as our safety net or our security blanket type of thing. And I was definitely in that category. As a kid and teenager, I had this plan about where my life would be and what I would do, and I always wanted to know what would be happening. And then I've just had to go on a journey learning, hey, you don't actually need to know everything in advance. You know, everything's going to be okay. And even if things are dark right now or crazy or confusing or you're just vague, you know, directionless, take that one step. There's always going to be light enough for one step, and that one step is enough. And trusting and knowing that once you take that step, you will be shown the way for the next step. There'll always be the next step. Let's see. So, what am I saying? I'm going blank. So that is really helpful. Also, another insight from that story that helps me is knowing that, yeah, in any situation, whatever we're facing or whatever it is, we always have the ability to shine light. We all have wisdom and experiences and dreams and passions and talents and skills that we can offer to the world. We have our time and our resources even to offer light to the world, whether it's just saying hello to someone, smiling at someone, paying for someone for a meal, or just taking them out to lunch and having a conversation with someone, up into, you know, whatever your job is and being a light there, or creating and doing a journal page spread and being a light shining that. There's always a way, wherever we are, to take a step that will shine light. And that light is in us, so maximize the light that is in you. Whatever the situation, there is always light in you that you can shine to others. Alright, so the other thing I want to talk about with light is that sometimes we can want to be like other people, we want to fit in, and we can think we need to be a certain way, fit in with society and expectations and that kind of thing, but be the light that you're created to be. So that's why I have a chandelier, because when I first thought of light, I thought of the, you know, normal light bulb, just the plain light bulb in the ceiling. And maybe there's nothing wrong with that. That is such a utilitarian, practical, everyday, common, essential item that we need. And I thought, yeah, I'm that light. But then I realized, hang on a second, what part of my journey also is embracing my type of light. And I love chandeliers, I love sparkles, I love colour and rainbow and glitter, and it's not as popular and not as common, not as easy to maintain because you've got to dust it all the time, but that's more me. I'm more creative, and the best way for me at this time to maximize the light and bring light, one of the ways anyway, is to use my creativity to write, to draw, to journal, to make journals, and to kind of live in a more creative way and think outside the box kind of thing. So yeah, just be whatever light that you're created to be, and don't worry about what anyone thinks or trying to be like someone else. And yeah, the best way to shine your light is just be your own light. So that's one thing to say about that. Another thing is, okay, so my friend, I had this chat with her, and it was an hour and a half chat on the phone. We have the best deep and meaningfuls when we catch up, and she was just saying how she's a midwife, and she was studying midwifery and the challenges, like health challenges in third world countries, and she just got overwhelmed by, the unnecessary deaths and suffering that happens. And yeah, as we're both Christians, so that's something we can wrestle with, and there's that tension of the existence of all this suffering and pain and things in the world, with the existence of God and everything. And yeah, that's just like a normal tension and it's okay to have that. And one of the things that she was saying that helped her was just knowing that God is all light and that he has absolutely no part in the pain and the suffering and the deaths that are happening in the world, and that what he is doing is bringing his light. He's bringing light into the darkness, into those situations. And yeah, really comforting to me, because I remember previously I would have moments where I would just get so overwhelmed as well, not by specifically midwife situations, but wars and famines. And when I went through that depression and anxiety journey, you may have remembered me sharing about that, how it just felt like the world's pain was on my shoulders. Which crazy, but I would see an ad about bullying and I'd be a mess of tears. Or I would see an ad about a child starving and I would be a mess of tears. And I would see, TV shows about murders, and I'd be so sensitive to all those kind of things. Anyway, so just knowing, it really helps to just know, God is all light and he's bringing light. And then that gives you the responsibility as well, which I feel very strongly in that we are to bring light as well. And this is what this flap is about. It's some Bible verses that just really jumped out at me and spoke to me, with light being my theme. Genesis 1:3. God said, "Let there be light." They're his very first words recorded in the Bible. So I just was like, oh man, this is really significant. And it just shows his being, his essence is all light, and that what he is doing in the world is bringing light into darkness. And then Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world." So there is that amazing privilege to participate with God in bringing light to the world, but also that real responsibility to do something, to get active, and to make sure we are contributing to bringing light to those dark places. And then Psalm 119, 105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." And that again speaks about, for me, how we don't need to know everything. Confusion is normal, it's okay. Tension is normal and okay. Lean into it. We don't need to figure everything out. It's okay to have questions, and we don't need to have the 10 steps and everything laid out in front of us. We always have the guidance right there, right now, in front of us, that we can always rely on. So, all right. So much to chat about in this, but I hope that was encouraging and inspiring. I've just drawn here, a light bulb, the sun, and the stars. Some things I think about when I think of light, and shining like the sun, shining like the stars. So whether it's day or night, there's still light. And how we can be like that, how we can be people bringing light into the world, into the darkness. So, all these different things kept coming up. Like, I didn't think I would have a word for the year, but then slowly all these things came up, and I still didn't register. It wasn't until I had a dream. And in my dream, like, I tend to have really kind of lucid dreaming and significant dreams. I remember all my dreams. I have tons of dreams every night, and some of them are quite powerful, and I can learn things from my dreams. Like, I might have a problem, and then the dream will solve it for me, or something like that. And in this one, this is the first time this has happened, but in my dream I was processing all this stuff and came to the revelation that light was my word. And so when I woke up, I was like, oh, that was a really powerful dream, but I couldn't quite remember what I was supposed to get from it. But I knew there was something. I knew that I had a word. I couldn't remember the word, and for a moment I was like, did I even really have that dream, or was it just some random thing that I'm remembering and that didn't really happen? And then it just all came back to me, flooded back to me. I was like, oh yeah, I did have a dream. I did have a word. It was all worked out for me in the dream. And that's me now, basically writing down all that stuff that came to me that I processed in the dream, which was awesome. I love how God can talk to you through a phone conversation with a friend, another conversation with another friend, which I didn't talk about, but also how he can speak through, this coming from the other side of the world, and and a book, and the Bible, scripture verses, and a dream. I mean, how amazing is that? It's like, okay, God, I get the message. Yeah, I had another conversation with a friend. This one was face to face, and she was just saying how, life isn't fair, and it's just like blunt and direct, and sometimes I could wrestle with that, and I could be like, no, or you can get angry or bitter or resentful, and you're just fighting it. And one of the things that I've learned as well is to just accept it. As horrible and as painful and as dark and confusing as it can be, to accept the fact that, hey, life isn't fair. And then the question then is, how will I respond? And that is something how we can be a light as well. If we're going to get bitter and resentful, we're just going to spread more darkness, So, but if we can be a light in that situation, whether it's through creating your, expressing your tension, even through art, that's going to help someone, for them to know they're not alone in that tension, and to know it's okay to be in tension. And it's going to offer comfort and understanding. And so, I mean, I'm going off on a tangent here, but respond well in any situation, whatever it is. Bring light. Know what kind of light you are and how best to bring light. I mean, for a season, it might look like, okay, just going off the top of my head here, it might look like being a stay-at-home mum. That's the best way for you to be a light. Or it might look like starting a business, or it might look like a full-time job, or it might look like just creating, or it might look like, you know what I mean? Like, for different seasons, maximizing the light that is in you may look different from season to season. So just taking that time to think and reflect and know who you are, know who you're created to be, know what kind of light you are to shine, and also for what season you're in as well. So I really hope that was comforting, encouraging, inspiring. I have here some paintbrushes to represent that creativity, and a bird that kind of rising above the darkness and the confusion and the trials, responding well. That's what that kind of soaring, like the key, that, responding well and being a light. And even in confusion and darkness, it doesn't matter. You can still bring light. Wherever we are. And for me, I really want my, goal, aim, is in anything I do, and especially with Willowbound Journals and journaling and my videos, is I hope that it does bring light in however way it looks, whether it's just through, my enthusiasm for journaling, or through sharing of a story, or through creating, and it inspires you to create. I hope it brings light in some way. And what I hope is that, this sharing, this videos, these journals, they will help you in some way, and that it will make your lives better in some way. And even the smallest way, it still matters. So that's all this. And this is a dream big jar, and that's why I'm dreaming big here, and how I can spread as much light as I can. So awesome. I hope you like that page, and this is just an example of what you can do. Have your own spin on it. 2 people have already entered my challenge. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. One person is Lisa, and her word is flourish, and one person is Denise, and her word is friendship. And I will link below their posts on Instagram so you can check their journal page spreads out. It is awesome, guys. It really inspires me. It really encourages me, and I hope it does the same to you, and I trust it will. If you'd like to enter this journal challenge, just check out that video and let me know if you'd like to be part of it, and I'll keep my eye out. Things I have to cover also, oh my goodness, because I'm just so new to this. If you're still with me, I'll put it all in the description box below as well, but it will only go for 2 weeks because someone suggested that was fine, so I'm just going to go with that 2 weeks, and we just want to roll these out because I've got to get February's prompt out. I'll put February's prompt out later on in February, I suppose, and then that will go for 2 weeks. And then from the start of March, I'll try and make it, you have a month to complete the monthly journal challenge. And yeah, it will be like the first of each month, I'll put the prompt out. If you can share it, a VR, first of all. So many people ask me what a VR is. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it stands for video request, and it's when you just share a video on your YouTube channel, sharing about the challenge in case anyone else would like to enter. And so obviously link back to my original video, and even link to this video in case they need an example of what to share. Yeah, if you're going to share on Facebook, that's cool too. Just let me know, either a message on Facebook that you've done that, because how will I find you if we're not friends or something? So it's difficult working this logistical stuff out. Because also on Instagram, do make sure you tag me, I'm not sure if that's the right wording, the @ symbol, and then Willowbound Journals. I'll put this all below, and that should make it so it will pop up in my news feed. Is that what it's even called? Notifications. And that way I'll be able to see it, and then make sure you do hashtag Willowbound Journals and my name. And I'm thinking of adding another one, like Journal Challenge, so that anyone searching can easily just go there. And I'm hoping that they'll see all the entries in one go, rather than they have to search and click here and click there. If it's all just under one hashtag, I think this is how it works, I'm not too sure. Then they'll be able to see the entries and be inspired in one place. So I hope that makes sense. If you have 2 accounts, like on Facebook and Instagram, I just, for this one, just going to say it all counts as one entry, because then I don't think it's fair for those people who only have 1 account. So I don't know, I think I've covered it all. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. I'm going to make mistakes along the way. It's going to be bumpy, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'll learn as I go, and hopefully as the challenge progresses with each month, I will get these logistical things right. Alright, I'm talking really fast because I'm just looking at my battery and it's going down, 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 down. So hopefully it doesn't cut me off. Yeah, alright. Check the description box. I'll put everything there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.